So welcome everyone to this video interview today. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, but I'm so grateful to Angela for coming on here today to allow me to interview her on her experience of the Remembering Who You Are program. So Angela took this program, Remembering Who You Are, back in, I think, maybe March 2019. So it's been a little over a year since she's taken that program. Currently, we're working together in another program. We're in our fourth week of that one. But I wanted her to come on and share her experience of how Remembering Who You Are impacted her life. Obviously, not all the details are fresh because it's been over a year, but I just wanted to have a conversation around that today with the hope that it might help whoever is interested in joining Remembering Who You Are and how it may help them. So thank you so much, Angela, for choosing to join me today and for allowing me to interview. I'm so grateful. I hope my internet connection today is stable. Please, God. Angela, first of all, how do I say your last name? Because I've been wanting to ask you this for forever, but I don't know.
It's Drzewicki.
Drzewicki.
It's a very interesting one.
Yeah. Well, my connection froze a little bit, so I'm like, but Drzewicki. Yeah. So where is it originally from, though?
Poland. It's a Polish
I knew
name.
it. I was like, it's like some Polish name.
Yes, it's definitely Polish.
Well, now that mystery has been solved. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
So, Angela, I kind of want to start off by talking about how we first connected, because I don't remember exactly how we first connected. The only thing I remember from when we first started connecting was that I posted on Facebook about my love for Titanic, and that you ended up telling me later that the reason that you decided to work with me was because you connected with me on that Titanic post. And I was like, oh.
Well, that was, I was kind of at the beginning, when I don't remember, if you added me on Facebook or something, I don't remember how it happened, but I did see it, because I was kind of at a point where I had done all of the work that I could do on myself, and I knew there was more. I knew that I needed to hire or to, have someone help me get, go further. And so I was kind of I guess I kind of set an intention without even knowing, that I was looking for somebody to help me. And that, I don't know, it's I connect, when I was scrolling through my feed and I saw you were watching Titanic, and I liked that movie so much. And I was like, huh, I had seen your stuff on Facebook, before, and I don't know, that just kind of made a connection with you, I guess. and then, so that was kind of when I started really
paying attention to me.
Yeah. And then I saw your post about programs that you were doing and stuff, and I'm like, huh, it was kind of a scary step, because I never really hired a coach for a big ticket program, I guess you would call it. So it was kind of a scary thing, but so I guess that connection kind of
happened,
kind of perspective, and was like, yeah, she's she's my kind of gal.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show, because that's one of the things that I teach people, and what I'm working with you on in Soul Aligned Impact is you can really just attract people by being yourself, your most authentic self, but you got to bring that forward through healing.
Yeah.
And lucky for you, you took yourself through this process of remembering who you are to dig up a lot of stuff and release a lot of things that, aren't you, for more of your true self to emerge, so that you could then step into Soul Aligned Impact more. So you mentioned that, you have been doing inner work on yourself prior to coming to work with me. And I really want to speak to that a little bit more, because I feel like a lot of times people sometimes feel like, oh, I can just figure it out on my own. I'm just going to keep healing and doing my thing and so on. So what was it for you that made you decide, okay, you know what, it's enough. I got to stop trying to figure it out, or what I'm doing has been helping me, but I need more help. What was that deciding factor for you to make that step to getting help and stop doing it on your own? That's what I really want to know about.
So there were certain things that I could not figure out where they were coming from, so I always had this issue with, I would argue with people in my head, It was, and it was just like something that would always come up. Like when someone like, I thought they knew more than me or, you know, something, I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't like start the conversation. I would argue with them in my head. And it was like a back and forth in my head. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like there's gotta be more than this. Like, I know that I can go beyond this, but I don't know, like, it's like I had like on these goggles that I just like, I couldn't see around my barriers, you know? So it was like, it's like I just needed a new perspective. And that was kind of the thing. I felt very stuck. I felt like I had come to a point where like, I can't go any farther until I go like figure out what's in my way. And I was having a hard time figuring that out on my own. And I remember like talking to a couple people and I would be like, oh yeah, I healed myself. I'm good. I'm ready to, I've done all the healing work. And they would be like, well, have you really? And I'm like, yes, I have. How dare you say I haven't, you know? And then it was like, I got into this program, and when we started, I was like, holy crap, like, there's so many things, you know, you don't even realize that you're like, is running your life. And, you know, so it helped kind of like pull some of those things away. And, so then I was able to like progress more and more and more until I came to the next point. I'm like, okay, well now I need a little bit more help, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at, I just felt really stuck. And, you know, I thought I had done all the healing, you know, I really, really did. Yeah. But then I also felt like this, like, you know, like I felt like stuck, like I couldn't get out of my shell all the way. So I'm like, I need a new perspective.
What kind of healing work had you been doing before the program? Like what things were working for you?
I mean, I guess it wasn't any like specific healing like modalities or anything, you know. I started to become more aware of like my thoughts. Mm-hmm. And like just kind of, you know, when a thought would come up, I would just kind of like take notice of it, you know, but I didn't know how to go beyond it. Like I was noticing all these things coming up. So I was aware. I had the awareness around like when I was like reacting in certain ways, like how I would like argue with people in my head. Like I had the awareness that I was doing it. Mm-hmm. And to me, I thought that was healing because I felt this awareness and all of this, like, so to me, I felt like a breakthrough just from that, like being aware of it, you know, and yeah, so that, yeah, I started becoming more aware of these things, but then I couldn't get around them, you know, so that was.
So then you joined Remembering Who You Are, and then Pandora's Box opened and you were like, whoa.
Yes. I like, you know, and I must say, like, as I started, like the first couple times we had like PDF work to work on, and you would ask me questions, and then you would be like, okay, well, go back and go look inside of yourself. And, you know, and then you would ask me more questions. At first I was like, will she just tell me? Like, I would get frustrated at first. Like, why is she not just telling me? But like, I see after I like started like answering these questions, I was like, oh, like she, you know, like just showing me how to find these answers for myself. And I think that was a huge thing too, like, because at the beginning I did get kind of frustrated, you know, and yeah, so, and then just like some of the breakthroughs that I had, it was something so simple, it seemed, you know, like, but it was like I couldn't see it. It was like I was focused on one thing, and it was like outside of my focus, so I couldn't see it. And then, yeah, so you helped to bring that back. And yeah, it was so many things that I like people pleasing. And I had like I had a big problem with anxiety, and like if I didn't please someone, like the anxiety that would come with that. And after a while, after working through this, like I used to bite my nails really, really bad. I would literally bite them down to like nothing.
Ooh.
And after I started learning about my anxiety and like getting, like going through it and like going within myself and navigating through it, I stopped biting my nails. And it was like, holy crap, you know, I had bit my nails for like 28 years. As much as, so it was like, that was a huge thing for me. Like I knew I always did it out of anxiety, because I knew, like, you know, I could always feel when I, you know, wanted to bite my nails. I was like, so that helped me a lot too, like to get out of my anxiety box and realize, like, you know, I can stand up for myself. I don't have to please all of these people, and just like going back into myself and knowing, finding that inner knowing and getting to the root cause of the issues and all this stuff. Like, it was, it was so much. And I know, like, when I was going through it, I felt really like low energy a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I was just going through so much that, and I honestly thought that, like, I was doing something wrong. Like I wasn't getting I wasn't doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I know now, it was just like me, like all my energy was just like shifting all over. And
Yeah.
it was, yes, a big Pandora's box of just
Well,
so many things I figured out about myself.
Well, I love that you spoke to so many amazing things. I try to take notes really late, but but first of all, yes, I totally feel you on the frustration that comes with, you know, you having someone to help you, but then they kind of tell you like, okay, go figure that out for yourself. And you're like, what am I paying you for? Like,
right. Yes.
I get that 100%.
Yeah.
I've walked that path myself. And, but that's part of what I do as an empowerment coach, because me having gone through similar experiences as well, I've really been able to see the value of someone assisting me in reclaiming my power and understanding I can heal myself. I can go beyond my own challenges, my blocks. And that's what I really do my best to teach my clients, because once the program is said and done, like, you're not going to have me there helping you every single minute or with all the challenges. I want you to have the information, the tools that you will be able to apply again and again as you move forward on your journey, as you continue to have more things come up, because that's life. Things come up. There's always more healing to do. And so I want to speak to that more in a bit, but I also want to speak to the fact that, you know, remembering who you are. And I always tell people who kind of ask me about my work and what it's like, is my work isn't for just anyone. My work is for people who are really ready to look at their shadows and really ready to do very deep healing, because it is intense. And it does feel a bit rough in the beginning before it gets better. You know, it does, because you're looking at so much pain, so much stuff that you have repressed consciously or unconsciously. And now when you step into the energy of the programs, you really have to face it, because that's what you're asking for. And that's what the guides bring forward. And you move yourself through that process. And in the beginning, it feels heavy. In the beginning, you feel like you're dragging your feet. But that's why, you know, it's important to be in a group setting, or have someone assisting you with that, to help you continue to put one foot in front of the other, continue to, you know, move towards the light at the end of the tunnel, even though initially maybe you don't see it there, but you're like, no, the light is coming, keep going.
Yeah.
And you'll eventually get there. So yeah, you know, I'm so happy I was able to help you with that and all of your transformations and shifts. And you know, releasing that anxiety is just so powerful, because when we don't recognize the things inside of ourselves that are driving that anxiety, or driving the depression, or driving the stress, the intensity that we feel inside of ourselves, that eventually develops into illness. That eventually develops into something worse. And that's what we want to try to prevent, because we really can prevent a lot of those things by just having a closer look at ourselves and seeing, okay, what's really causing these things to happen, so that I can release that, heal from that, shift it, whatever I need to do to allow myself to move forward and not continue to be negatively impacted by these things, right? So what I want to say next is, how has remembering who you are assisted you in living your life differently and from a more empowered place since you took it?
Yes. Okay. So since I finished the program, I bought myself a journal, because I wasn't really into journaling before this. And when I would have a realization, because now I was more aware, like if I was feeling a certain way, I could be like, and like figure out the root cause, like the root feeling I was feeling, and I was able to like journal it out and be like, oh, I'm feeling this way because, you know, I'm feeling like not loved or not worthy or whatever it may be. Like, so it was so much easier than to, like you said, like to go within and find my own power. And I seriously felt like I just like broke out of my box, and I was able to now like see things more clearly. And it was so much easier now for me to like move through, you know, like these arguments in my head. Like I don't have that anymore. Like now I know who I am, and I don't have to argue to make, you know, to show who I am. Like I don't have to tell myself who I am, because I don't have to argue against them, you know. It's been so much easier for me to move through like difficult conversations and arguments and all these things, you know, by like journaling it out, like the feelings that came up and like realizations that I had. And like now I'll just be walking around and like something will hit me, like a realization about something that was plaguing me last week, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, so before I didn't listen to these things because I didn't really like, I couldn't hear them. I couldn't, you know, there was too much stuff in the way filtering out these things that I couldn't learn from it and hear it. So, you know, pulling all of that stuff out of the way helped me to hear myself better and to hear like, you know, these things that I needed to hear as I was within myself, you know. So I learned how to listen to myself more, instead of always looking for something outside myself to answer my questions, you know. It just, that's one of the main things, is it helped me to listen to myself and to break out of, you know, trying to like seek the answers outside from someone else. And so yeah, it made going through like difficult times and, you know, whatever, so much easier for me. And
I feel like it also helped you to be, you know, like come back to who you truly are, be more of your authentic self, because before it was more of, you know, especially when you're people pleasing, you're being someone that you're not. You're trying to be what you think you need to be for other people to like you or to accept you or whatever. And as you worked through that for yourself and you let it go and stuff, more of your authentic self came forward. You started setting more boundaries. You started speaking your truth more. You started, you know, living more authentically. And as a result, you know, being happier and, you know, breaking out of that shell, I guess is what you said. So to, you know, stop being this false person, but start being more of your true self and owning that and having peace within yourself around that.
Yeah. And when I started, I couldn't, you know, I thought I was living authentically. I thought I was being myself. I thought, you know, it's like I couldn't see all of that, you know. And then once I started pulling it away, and, you know, a lot of my relationships changed. Like my relationship with my family changed significantly, you know, because I used to think of myself as the black sheep all the time. And so I would kind of like shy away from interacting with them at like family parties and stuff. But like once I, you know, got rid of like worked through all of that, like all of my relationships have changed so significantly. And it's just like amazing how like that I had this in me the whole time, but I wasn't able to see it, you know. And I'm so grateful that you helped me to see that, because that it really did, you know, it was scary for me to jump into that program, but I'm really, really glad that I did.
Oh, so thank you.
Yes.
I love that. And I know I can totally, first of all, you're going to make me cry with you, but you know, you went through the program. I shared a lot of my personal stories and stuff there. That's what I do. And I know how heartbreaking it is to have such discord in your family or feel unloved by your family, and to really take the time to go within and heal all of your stuff, and then see how then that healing, that new love that you cultivate for yourself is then reflected back to you in your relationships, and the people that you thought would never change start changing one step at a time, and you start experiencing a more loving relationship with them that just like dramatically improves your quality of life. That just feels like you have a place in the world, feels like you belong. It helps you to be more secure in yourself. There's just so many benefits with healing yourself and then seeing that reflected in your family and having greater love and harmony in your family. So I'm so glad that you were able to create that for yourself.
Yes.
I don't know who over there is like banging on some pots, but they're cheering for you. This is Peru, so we already know it's loud. Oh, I love it. Well, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to ask you today is, you know, just how your journey has been, how it's changed your life in the last year, just seeing where you're at today. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
There's a couple more things that I want to share before we end. And the first one is that, you know, when you decided to invest in yourself for the first time, you decided to invest in this program, that was a big jump for you. And I remember we had this discussion, you know, we were talking and stuff because you were like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this, you know, because sometimes finances or things like that is a bit of a challenge. But, you know, what would you have to say to anyone that is maybe on the fence and they're like, oh, I don't know if I should invest in this kind of program or not, because it is a big commitment? What would you say to them?
Well, for me, like, it was very scary. And, you know, I was like, oh, am I going to be able to make this, you know? And once I started like with it's kind of like my mindset changed with the money thing, because like once I started like learning more about myself, I'm like, you know what, I can handle anything. Like, I'm not, you know, like, abundance is always here for me, and there's literally so many opportunities for me to make this money back if I need it, you know. But I think that it's a great, like, the personal growth, I think, is, you know, so worth the money. I mean, that's really, you know, it was so scary at first, but once I once I paid for that one, you know, and now I went and invested again, even more money, you know, which if you would have told me I would have invested that much money, you know, last year, I would have been like, heck no, you know. So it's like, so now like my whole mindset has changed, and like, you know, doubling or almost tripling my investment that I did last time, you know, it's just so, you know, like my mindset has all changed. And now like I'm making the same amount of money, you know, but I'm conscious of my money and, you know, all of these things. So the healing of it is just so worth the money. That, you know, that's the main thing for me.
Yeah. I think, hopefully my connection stabilizes, but I think it's really about, and someone mentioned this to me recently, is maybe it's a big commitment right now, but the returns are going to pay off year after year after year, you know, for years to come. And sometimes I think people get too caught up on the investment, the price tag right now, because they're like, oh, that's a lot of money now. Yeah, but do you want to keep spending decade after decade being miserable and feeling unfulfilled and stressed and getting sick and all these other things? Like, you have to decide, you know, what you want, and that's a personal choice. And it's definitely important to make these commitments or these investments, you know, one step at a time as you feel called to, because, and I talk about this all the time in different money videos, but when you start stepping into that, the things that once scared you, the investments that once scared you don't scare you anymore, because you start breaking free from your money stories. You start recognizing abundance does show up for you in magical ways when you're, you know, stepping up and doing the inner work, taking the leap of faith. So yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that. So are there any final words for anyone that you have, for anyone that might be interested in this program? Anything you want to say to them to just conclude the interview?
Really the main point of my whole thing is just what I got out of it, and the years of being stuck, and the years that I, you know, went against myself. Like, the money that I spent, it was so worth it to me. And, you know, it's like was it 2 months that we had together, 8 weeks or something?
Yeah.
The 8 weeks so significantly. And it's like, you can be a whole new person in 8 weeks. And, you know, I was skeptical at first, you know, and it's amazing how much your life can change in a year. Like, I can't even believe the changes that I've gone through. So I think that, you know, it's definitely worth the investment, and it will definitely change your life.
Oh, thank
So,
you. Yes,
yes,
remembering who you are is now
I'm
12
very
weeks
thankful.
long. Yeah, and the program is now 12 weeks long because my guides asked me
Oh, okay.
to add some extra things because they were like, yeah, you know, you have to update it for the current times and what's to come. So
Right.
it'll be a little bit different for new modules. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your time today, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, for giving me permission to share this out
You're welcome.
online on social media. And I really hope that other people benefit from this and your experience, and that they decide to just take that leap of faith and, you know, commit to themselves, their well-being, their success, their happiness. And yeah, I'm just so blessed to be able to work with you because you're one of my dream clients, and I love you so much.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see
Yes.
you back on here, hopefully for another interview on your experience of soul-aligned impact and all the amazing things that you have to share.
Yes.
All right, hon.
I
Well,
am
thank
so
you so much for your
thankful
time. Yes.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.